Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find a link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. With that said, did not finish the week as good as I thought I did. I took a lot of losses this past week I should say. 11 wins, 6 losses for a win rate of 64.71%. Very bad. I usually like to target 85%, but I've been struggling lately the last few weeks, and the market's just been very tricky and trappy, and I try to sit and be patient and try not to chase, and yeah, it's just been very, very tough. With that said, looking at the trade ideas room for Monday, I said SPY, actually, which day is Monday? 28th. I said SPY puts under 550, which is where we gap down. 550 is right at this low rate. Up here, not a low this high. But I must have called it right around, what time did I call it? 9:24. Yeah, it was up here. Around 551. That's why I chose this, the 550 area being a hold number, and it's been resistance, and if it falls through that, it's probably going to crash. Well, not crash, but flush. So Mondays, I usually wait the first half an hour out because the first trading day of the week is just usually very sketchy, and you see a lot of trappy moves that open, and I just prefer just to wait it out. So even though sometimes I miss really, really big moves, but I mean, I just prefer to do it that way. It just, every time I jump into a trade on ORB or something like that in the Monday morning, I end up taking a loss. So this is something I've done over the last couple of years, the last year. I've adapted, and I'll just continue to do that until something happens. Plus, I'm a little slow on Mondays too, so. But anyways, first play of the day, I took puts at 955, which is this candle right here. First too many candles red, made new high a day, and then when it came back down and made the lower day, I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 5500 puts at $9, and they went from $9 to $15 right there. So that ended up being a really good play. Then it's flagging right here, so I took puts again at 11 o'clock, right when it broke below the 550 area and broke the flag. I think it took a little further up here around the 550 30ish or 40ish area, or maybe I did get it at 550. I'm not sure. I got it in this area anyways. I grabbed the 54.90 puts at $7, and they went from $7 to 18, so it ended up being a good play. Flagged again, and I took another puts play at 1157, which is right here, right when it broke below the 947 area. I grabbed the 5460 puts at 720, and they went from 720 to 1030. So no point trying to fight the direction. The direction's down. Flagged, broke low a day, played it. Flagged, broke low a day, and played it. You know, just keep doing it. I mean, it flagged again, it broke low a day. I mean, I could have took it right there. I might have taken it in my challenge account. I'm not quite sure. I don't post the my other premium account plays, because these videos would be too long, and my throat already hurts after doing half an hour of this every day, because I don't usually talk a lot in videos. So yeah, I just prefer not to do it. I just stick to the subzone channel plays, because that's all that people seem to really want to see anyway. So then on to Tuesday, trade ideas room, I said SPY calls. No, I said SPY puts into 548, which is rate 548. What time did I call it? 920, 21. Yeah, 548. That's low. I'm not quite sure. When I get the number, why I picked the number, but kind of gutsy to try to play the puts down here. We're Yeah, well, no, I guess not. I'm sorry. I was not looking at the previous day. Yeah, previous day the low was down 545. Yeah, I could definitely see the under 548. So that's probably why I called it. But of course, it didn't. First play of the day was at 1022, and it was a loss. 1022, right here. How did I end up taking a loss right here? I took the, let's see, I took SPY 550 puts at 1022, which is this candle right here. I'm not sure. I may have took it like what at 550, but if anything, I should have taken it under the 550, 50-ish on the VWAP. Maybe I did, and I held for a bigger run, and it didn't. It came back. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look to see if I actually sold any. I know one of the plays this week, I sold some, and I ended up averaging down the rest, and it didn't work out. No, I didn't. I didn't sell any. I took a loss, so I probably took it down here on the 550. I don't know why I did that. If anything, I should have taken it right at the VWAP. Maybe I was afraid VWAP was going to bounce like it did here. It bounced. Maybe I thought that. I'm not quite sure what was going through my mind at that point in time. But anyways, yeah, I took the 550 puts at 195. I ended up stopping out, popped on me. And that was another thing that's been happening. Just about every time I take a play, it does a 180 on me. It didn't do that to me last week or the week before. But this past week, it did that. It was so annoying. But it is what it is. Then I took puts at 1124. Right here. Yeah, so it came up, made new high day, came back down. You get this candle right here, and once it broke below this candle, this is where I took the 5,500 puts. It went from $6 to $7.80. A little bit of a gutsy move, but I see why I did it. You get this candle right here, and you get this candle, and it made new high day, and it ended up being a fake out, coming back down pretty quickly. But yet again, it gets under VWAP, it bounces, gets under VWAP, it bounces. This has been the theme of the day. I took puts at 1202, which is right here. 1202. Oh yeah, I remember this play. Because it was not doing anything, it was like bouncing to 553 and getting hammered on, or actually over 552.50 it was getting hammered on. So I decided to take it calls up here at the top of the 552.50 area. And I took the 55.25 puts at 780, and of course as soon as I got in, it popped, and then I stopped out, and then it came back down. I don't know if they went green. I think they did. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was a total mess day of trading. I'm not quite sure what I did here. I know what I did here. I got that, but this I shouldn't have done that. I'm not a fan of buying puts at higher day or at top of the channel, or buying calls at the lower of the channel, lower day, because to me it just seems so risky. And they can flush it or squeeze it at any time, and I'm not a fan of that. So I do it once in a great while, and I usually end up getting burned like I did on this one right here. Yeah, I got burned on that one, but I took puts at 1223. So yeah, I did take this right here. 1223. 1223. What? What was I doing this day? I took it too low right here. I should have took it under VWAP, if anything, and I didn't. I get this play. This play worked out, and I get what happened here. I didn't really go far, but buying this one was kind of dumb, and buying it right here, seeing this candle, what time did I buy it? To 1223. So I bought this candle. I don't get why I bought it here. It's rejecting the 52.50. So as soon as it breaks 552.50, I just grab it, thinking that we're gonna drop. I mean, if anything, I should have waited until I got underneath the 552 area and bought it. But anyways, I bought the puts right here at 630, and then I went from 630 to $15. To me, that was kind of a reckless trade. I don't know if anything. I should have bought the FU setup about underneath this green candle. That would have been better, or at 552. So many trades are questionable this day. This one, I'm not sure why I grabbed it here. I should have grabbed it up here and not played it. I should have never grabbed calls up here. I mean, puts up here at the top of the range, thinking it was going to stay within the range. I just don't like doing that. And grabbing it here was a very, very risky move. So I went 2 for 2 that day. So a complete mess on what day was the 29th? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. So yeah, one good play that actually worked out right here. I get why I took it there. And I mean, I get what I was doing up here, but I just definitely should have waited for the green candle and took the low underneath the green candle or waited for the 552 to break. But yeah, this is why I like doing the recaps, because sometimes not only am I showing you my trades and what I'm doing, is that I see the mistakes and go back and thinking, okay, what the heck was I doing? And this is one of those days I don't know what I was really doing. So, yeah, this was the third play, right? The 12, yeah. So this was probably more of a revenge trade than anything, and I can admit it, no problem. So, yeah, this was probably a revenge trade, but it is what it is. Now on to 30th, which is Wednesday. Traded his room on the 30th. I said calls over 547 because we gap down really big. 547's right here. I said that right around here. And it popped, but yeah, right at open, it just dumped. But something was going on at this time. It might have been tariffs or something related. I don't remember, but deep red candle right here at open. So when it broke new lower day, I took a chance. No, I didn't. I did not take ORB play. My first play was at 950. So is this the day that they had news at 945? I think they did. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure what news it was. I'm sure if I look. The 30th. What was that? At 9:45, Chicago PMI. Okay, I waited for Chicago PMI. And usually what has been happening lately is if we're dropping going into news, news makes it pop. And if we're popping going into news, it usually drops. Usually. So I think I was looking at this, but I didn't. I waited for news. And when news came in, it popped up. And it popped up here to the 544, 60-ish area. Then when it came back down underneath 544, yeah, that's where I grabbed it. I remember that saying that in the room. When I got back under 544, that's when I grabbed the 544 puts at 295, and they went from 295 to 419. So that ended up being pretty good on SPY. So I played SPY because I gapped down too much. SPX was way too expensive. And let's see. Then the next one I took SPX puts at 1222, which is right here. Okay, I get what's going on up here. Made new high a day, and you can see the candles. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and they're getting wicks on both sides. But what's happening is all the wicks are lining up right around this 548, 80-ish area. So as soon as it broke below 548.80, that's when I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 54.75 puts at 780, and they went from 780 to $10 plus. So that ended up being a good play. Then it got bought. Came back up to the 550 area. Yeah, see, this was 550. It was rejecting 550 right here. So we can see all the top of the wicks right here. Not quite getting to 550. Then when it finally popped and broke 550, that was basically a stop. Hunt right there, and then they dropped it right there. So that's why I was looking at puts right there. Plus 550 is such a huge number, and lower day was down here at 541, 50-ish, and we had a massive drop. We dropped what, $6, then we popped 8 at a big number, big round number, 550. So I was figuring we were gonna pull back at least a little bit, enough to get a play, and we did. Then I took puts at 202. Which was 2 o'clock right here. Why did I do this? the rage candle and it came back down, I decided to get 5,500 puts at 650 and I ended up stopping out. I really don't understand why I grabbed it right there. But yeah, this was a news thing and it came back down. So I decided to front load puts, which is not a good thing. I should have waited. Should have waited for underneath 550, but it didn't. For some reason, I grabbed it up here or in up here. Is this the one that I sold some on? I felt like it was. No, it wasn't. Okay. One of the trades this week I sold some and added, so yeah. But yeah, I grabbed 5,500 puts right here at 650, and then I ended up stopping out at 3. But you know, like 5 minutes later, um, it broke. I took it at 230. So first one was here. I took the loss, came back down, actually broke. For some reason, I thought I took it here, but I didn't. It bounced off the 20 EMA, which is the blue line, and then when it tried to pop up again, it came back down. So this time when it broke below the 550 area, because you get the body, the body, the body, and the body of this candle, and because it bounced off the 20 EMA and it came up and it came back down quickly, that's when I grabbed the next set of puts. But this time I grabbed the 5510 puts at 5510 puts at 710, and then went from 710 to $12. So that ended up being a pretty good play, I guess. So then it just chopped. I mean, this is just chopping, then it rips in today. This was just a messy chart, messy chart, but definitely got the pullback right there. Got it right there. This I should have not taken. I took so many stupid trades this week. Get off my screen. I took so many stupid trades. Reckless trades. It's usually not me to do that, but I did. So I'm going to admit it. I took a lot of reckless trades I should not have taken. Oh, this is the day I added. Okay, I see it right there. Now, on May 1st, traded his room. I said SPY puts into 559, which is down here, rounded down to the whole number. I don't like using exact numbers at open because it's so volatile. I mean, it'll break anyways. But first 10-minute candle was red, green, and for some reason I took calls over high a day. I took SPY calls at 9:48, which is right here. So no, I took it right here in this candle, right when it broke high a day. Then you can see it opened here, popped up. So I took the 560 call. Huh? I got the right day. 560 calls. Oh yeah, I remember. I got calls up here, came up here. This was the news event. It popped new high day and it came back down and dropped. We had news at 9:45. What was this day? What was the news? Manufacturing yeah, we had the manufacturing PMI right here. So it dropped going into earnings and news, and then I just held it. I don't know why. I just did. I held it for some reason and took the chance that it was going to pop on the news because we were dropping, and it did work out. So the 560 calls I had at $2.97 went from $2.97 to $4, so they ended up going pretty good. But you know, SPY, I don't mind going down $1 plus on SPY because I mean it's very minimal and it's so easy to make back on SPY. So I wasn't worried at making new low a day. I took the chance and just like see if the news made it pop, because like I said earlier in the video, if it's dropping before news makes it pop, and if it's popping before news usually drops. It's not an exact science, it's not every time, it's just something I've been noticing lately, and I took the chance. I mean, worst cases, you know, it dumped more and I stopped out and I could have made it back very, very easily with SPX. I mean, even if it went to zero, I mean, I could make that back so easily with SPX. But anyways, it did work out, and then I took calls at 11:32, which was right here. I took the drop right here. Every drop was getting, every micro pullback, I bought, pullback, bought. Made new high a day. This is probably the telltale. I should have not done that because um, it came back pretty quickly and it hit some deep red candles. And for some reason I decided to grab calls at 11:32, which is right here. In fact, this is the one where I grabbed the 56.60 calls at 8:70, and when I bought it, I think I bought it down here. It bounced up. I ended up selling the majority of it, and then when it dropped more, I was like, okay, we're going to bounce at the 200, the 20 EMA, which is the blue line. So I added more at 6, and then it just kept flushing. I ended up taking a small, tiny loss on that one. So, yeah. Then I took puts again at 144, which is right 144. Why? Why did I take it here? Oh, okay. I remember why I took it here. Do you remember this play? Because I was worried that because 559 seems to be low a day. It bounces right here. It gets close to it, bounces, close to it, bounces it. And I didn't really want to take puts down here at the 959 area, afraid that we were going to drop. I mean, it did drop over here, but I just wasn't too confident. But we had a head and shoulders. You get the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. And I have also another thing I've noticed when you have these really, really clear patterns, that they end up being monster traps. The market makers know the rule, I shouldn't say the rule books, but they know the pattern books that everyone uses, retail uses, and I feel like sometimes they use those patterns to trap and mess with retail traders, and I've noticed that quite a few times. And so I didn't want to buy puts down here because I was afraid if I did, it would shoot under really quickly and pop. And so I was like, okay, I'll get underneath 560 and anticipate that they're going to bounce it at 559, and then I can get $1 play out of that. So that was the mindset behind why I took it right here. Plus, we were making a lower high. This is a lower high right here, and we get underneath 560. We're probably going to 559. But no, it did this, what I thought was going to do down here. It got to dip below 560 just enough to bounce it, and then I ended up stopping out. So did not work out, backfired. Maybe I should have waited for the 559, and of course over here, end of day, hits breaks 559 and dumps. But even if I held it, it wouldn't have, I don't think it would have even worked out. Because if I held it right here, I got about $8.50 over here. It'd probably be worth like $1 to maybe $2 tops by the time I got over here. So I would need a monster dump, even though this was a monster dump, but I don't think it would be enough to turn them green. So toss is being very, very annoying today. Then we gap up pretty big on Friday. Well, yeah, we gapped up and we sold off a little. We gapped up again right here. We pushed higher again right there. So traded ears room on Friday. SPY calls over 566, which is right up here. Pulls back. I took calls at let's see, 9:32, right when it broke 565.50. I remember saying this, that I was flagging, and if it popped over, we were going to pop, but it didn't. Just enough for me to get in. I should have waited the first 10-minute candle, but I didn't. Then it dropped, and then it popped. I don't know if it went green or not. It might have. I'm not sure. It definitely did over here, but I'm not looking that far ahead. But yeah, I grabbed calls right here. Then I ended up stopping out. Then I took calls at 10:10, which is right up here. Took the 56.90 calls at $8, and they went $8 to $11 plus. Made back my loss very, very easily on SPX. I made my SPY loss off from SPX. That's why, that's a good thing. If there's a trade to lose, it's the SPY ones. Playing SPY options, because they're very easy to make up. and it takes a lot to lose a dollar on a SPY option versus SPX. SPX, it could wiggle 20 cents, 30 cents, and you'll lose a dollar very, very easily versus SPY. I mean, you buy up here, I mean, you lose a dollar down here. I mean, it takes quite a bit of a move to lose a dollar. And then if you catch the SPX play right, I mean, you gain back that dollar like very, 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 very easily. So, yeah, so I made that back very, very easily. Then the last play was what, 1122, which was right here. I bought the pullback. No, I bought puts. Okay. Yeah, I see why I bought puts. You get all these cluster of candles right here. All the bodies of the candles of these two bodies and the body and the wick right here, all lining up right around the 565.25 area. So as soon as it broke it, I took the 56.80 puts. No, sorry, 56.50 puts at $8.40. They went from $8.40 to $10. So that ended up being a good play. Then it bounced off the 20 EMA. See, it's been, you know, if it's above VWAP and comes back down, it almost always bounces off from VWAP. I mean, you could have been pretty good at that, but it didn't here. It flushed through it, and yeah, but then it finally did bounce over it. But yeah, it's been bouncing off VWAP. Price gets away from it, likes to get bought right around near VWAP, but sometimes not always. They flush it through and it bounces. So I have to start keeping an eye on that a little more. I mean, I don't usually like buying the bounce at the VWAP because you never know if it's going to flush through it and stop you out, then rage. I mean, I suppose you could wait for a green candle and buy over the high of the green candle over VWAP. I mean, I suppose you could do that. But yeah, I'll have to see what next week's brings. This week brings, but very tough week of trading. I did a lot of stupid things. If I had to count roughly in the top of my head, I think I took 4 trades. 4 out of the 6 of my losses were really stupid trades. I probably should have not have taken, but I can't change the past. It is what it is. But all you can do is just learn from it and just try to not make the same mistakes next week. And I will try to do that. But you know, it's easier said than done. But anyways, stop doing that, SPY. But yeah, that's it for the recap, and thanks for watching.